my dear listeners. Welcome to another episode of this podcast series From Rudyard to Ruskin. My name is Aditi, and what do I do here? Walk you into a world of stories, reflections, and vignettes from the natural world around us. Each episode of this show is dedicated to a book. Now, that book could be in prose, verse, or illustrations. From children and young adults to grown-ups and elders, there is a book for everyone. Now, there is nothing like recording an episode in the lap of nature. I'm literally doing that right now. I'm here in the Himalayas, around half a day's journey away from Delhi, in a quaint little village in Uttarakhand. The night is absolutely still. I can only hear the chorus of crickets and the occasional flutter of leaves caused by a passing breeze. I'm keeping my ears alert for the sounds of wildlife. Now, the locals tell me that leopards like to visit the villages at night. And this is monsoon. So, one may also get to hear the hissing of snakes. The occasional lone deer may just scurry into the night forest. And if you're really lucky, you might hear an elephant, the gentle giant, calling out to its herd. This brings me to the story of an elephant that I would love to share with you today. A very special elephant called Vatsala. Now, I came to know about Vatsala in July 2020, exactly 5 years ago. An email popped up in my inbox, and I was at that time working with a national newspaper. And this email was from an author and photographer who always sent me interesting story ideas. Ellie with 5 legs. That was the subject line. And the mail contained a Word document and a hand-drawn sketch of an elephant. Now, I clicked on the sketch first, and there she was, Vatsala, an elephant with a sweeping, long trunk. Now, because the subject line said Ellie with 5 legs, I studied the sketch for the 5th leg. But there were only 4. I then clicked on the Word document and started reading the draft. 5 sentences into it, and I got to know that Vatsala, who was spending her retired life at the Panna Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh, was probably the oldest living elephant in the world. Wow! Just wow! I exclaimed. But I still couldn't locate the 5th leg. I had to read a few more lines to crack the mystery. Vatsala's extraordinarily long trunk, a trunk that she rarely moved from the ground, was the metaphorical 5th leg. I went back to the sketch, and now it all started making sense. Vatsala really appeared to have 5 legs. Just this much was enough to make me approve the story idea. But there was a lot more in there that made Vatsala look even more interesting. The fact that she was from Kerala, and in 1972 she was moved from the Nelambur Forest Division in Kerala to Bori in Madhya Pradesh. And from Bori she was taken to Panna in 1992. Then, in 1995, Vatsala's Mahout reported that she had lost all her teeth. Now, elephants are known to lose their teeth when they are around 70 years of age. So, by that calculation, in 2020, when I was reading that email about Vatsala, she would have been close to hitting a century, almost 100 years old, or maybe a little more than 100. So Vatsala nudged her way back into my memory about a month ago when the news of her death flooded the internet. Tributes for the grand old matriarch poured in from all over India. And that's when I decided to devote an episode to a book in Hindi, Panch Pairon Wali Hathi, or the Elephant with Five Legs. And who is the author? Yes, the person who pitched that story to me years ago, Peeyush Sekhsaria. Now, this slim book of 48 pages, published by Ektara, immediately grabs your eye with a beautiful color illustration of Vatsala. She looks so real in that illustration that it makes me feel like reaching out and, touching and feeling her wrinkles and her lines. The book is not just about Vatsala, even though she is the star. It's a collection of 11 stories, all of them by Sekhsaria, and all of them are driven by his love and passion for the natural world, its many inhabitants, the flora and the fauna. These stories are leaves out of the author's own diary of life. He recounts his awe upon meeting Vatsala with the same detail that he describes the Siberian crane's long flight to the subcontinent. He explores caves in Western Ghats in search of the laughing hyena. He scans the deserts for the ever-enduring and sturdy khejri tree. He makes us laugh by telling us about a crow that tried to dive into a fish tank like a kingfisher and make away with fish. In this case, however, it barely managed to save itself from drowning. And that crow was never seen near that fish tank again. As I said, these are not just stories. These are the author's reflections, learnings, and experiences, which have been beautifully captured in prose. Each illustration is also a worthy accompanist. So, if you're a reader of Hindi, don't miss this book. Read them for yourself, read them to a little or young one, and leave them with the thought that we have to just look around us to know that the world is still wonderful. I'll end this episode with a salute to Vatsala, the Nani Ma or grandmother elephant, who bestowed her affection on many young elephants. Vatsala wasn't a mother, she hadn't given birth, but she knew what it was to hand things down and share life lessons. This brings us to the end of another episode. From Rudyard to Ruskin is our humble endeavor to make you, dear listener, think and care for the planet we inhabit. We are a part of podcast Azim Premji University. You can find us on multiple platforms, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Spotify. To know more about Azim Premji University, follow the link below.